The story of Lolita, 1962. In a remote mansion, Claire Quilty, drunk and incoherent, plays Frédéric Chopin's Polonaise in A major, Op. 40, number 1 on the piano before being shot to death by Humbert Humbert, a middle-aged British professor of French literature. 4 years earlier, Humbert arrives in Ramsdale, New Hampshire, intending to spend the summer before his professorship begins at Beardsley College, Ohio. He searches for a room to rent, and Charlotte Hayes, a cloying, sexually frustrated widow, invites him to stay at her house. He declines until seeing her 14-year-old daughter, Dolores, affectionately nicknamed Lolita, with whom he becomes infatuated. To be close to Lolita, Humbert accepts Charlotte's offer and becomes a lodger in the Hayes household. However, Charlotte wants all of Humbert's time for herself and tells him that she will be sending Lolita to an all-girls sleepaway camp for the summer. After the Hayeses depart for camp, the maid gives Humbert a letter from Charlotte, confessing her love for him and demanding he vacate at once unless he feels the same way. The letter says that if Humbert is still in the house when she returns, Charlotte will know her love is requited and he must marry her. Though he roars with laughter while reading the sadly heartfelt yet characteristically overblown letter, Humbert marries Charlotte. Things turn sour for the couple in the absence of the child. Glum Humbert becomes more withdrawn, and Charlotte grows increasingly unfulfilled and upset. Charlotte discovers Humbert's diary entries detailing his passion for Lolita and describing Charlotte as obnoxious and brainless. In an outburst, she runs outside but is hit by a car and dies. Humbert arrives to pick up Lolita from camp. She does not yet know her mother is dead. They stay the night in a hotel that is handling an overflow influx of police officers attending a convention. One of the guests, a pushy, abrasive stranger, insinuates himself upon Humbert and keeps steering the conversation to his beautiful little daughter, who is asleep upstairs. The stranger implies that he too is a policeman and repeats too often that he thinks Humbert is normal. Humbert escapes the man's advances, and the next morning, Humbert and Lolita play a game she learned at camp, and it is implied that they have a sexual encounter. The two then commence an odyssey across the United States, traveling from hotel to motel. In public, they act as father and daughter. After several days, Humbert confesses to Lolita that her mother is not sick in a hospital, as he had previously told her, but dead. Grief-stricken, she stays with Humbert. In the fall, Humbert reports to his position at Beardsley College and enrolls Lolita in high school there. Before long, people begin to wonder about the relationship between the father and his overprotected daughter. Humbert worries about her involvement with the school play and with male classmates. One night he returns home to find Dr. Zempf, a pushy, abrasive stranger, sitting in his darkened living room. Zempf, speaking with a thick German accent, claims to be from Lolita's school and wants to discuss her knowledge of the facts of life. He convinces Humbert to allow Lolita to participate in the school play, for which she had been selected to play the leading role. While attending a performance of the play, Humbert learns that Lolita has been lying about how she was spending her Saturday afternoons when she claimed to be at piano practice. They get into a row and Humbert decides to leave Beardsley College and take Lolita on the road again. Lolita objects at first, but then suddenly changes her mind and seems very enthusiastic. Once on the road, Humbert soon realizes they are being followed by a mysterious car that never drops away but never quite catches up. When Lolita becomes sick, he takes her to the hospital. However, when he returns to pick her up, she is gone. The nurse there tells him she left with another man claiming to be her uncle, and Humbert, devastated, is left without a single clue as to her disappearance or whereabouts. Some years later, Humbert receives a letter from Mrs. Richard T. Schiller, Lolita's married name. She writes that she is now married to a man named Dick and that she is pregnant and in desperate need of money. Humbert travels to their home and demands that she tell him who kidnapped her 3 years earlier. She tells him it was Claire Quilty, the man that was following them. who is a famous playwright and with whom her mother had a fling in Ramsdale. She states Quilty is also the one who disguised himself as Dr. Zemph, the pushy stranger who kept crossing their path. Lolita herself carried on an affair with him and left with him when he promised her glamour. However, he then demanded she join his bohemian lifestyle, including acting in his art films, which she refused. Humbert begs Lolita to leave her husband and come away with him, but she declines. Humbert gives Lolita $13,000, explaining it is her money from the sale of her mother's house, and leaves to shoot Quilty in his mansion. Intertitles explain that Humbert died of coronary thrombosis awaiting trial for Quilty's murder.